Hey everybody, today I want to look at one way we can revitalize our drummer by using Beat Breaker. Now, I've got this song that I was doing yesterday in a live stream challenge where all I could do is push play and let Logic's transport never stop. This is the song that came from that. But I wanted to really focus in on one part of this that I did, and that's all of these automation lines that are on the drummer track right now. If I expand that, you're going to see just how much I was doing. All of that was done in real time, by the way. And so I want to take a look a little bit closer at one part of it. Let's create a new drummer track. This is going to take somebody like Kyle, the drummer, right? And revitalize this a little bit. So we're going to mute the original track and now just look at this new one that I have here. We're going to put the Beat Breaker on this. It's in multi-effects Beat Breaker stereo. And this tool, which is so good with percussion, really designed to be manipulating loop-based things or just repetitive things, is really cool. So we don't have to use it all the time. Let's just solo out just a little bit of this introduction at the beginning. So you can see we can change this and it's going to manipulate the drummer based on the parameters of time, repeating, and volume. And we have a few other things that we can look at, but right now I just want to give you this taste of what this can do using some of the presets. So let's load up, for instance, I want to look at, let's see, there's one that's really nice for this, which is the Make a Fill under Repeat. This is the one I used in the song. So pattern off gives us just a straight replica of what's on the actual file. So it's a little clunky to have to click back and forth, which is where automation mode really comes in handy. We're going to put this automation mode. First of all, if you don't know how to see this view in the first place, A on your typing keyboard will open that up. And then we're going to switch this to touch mode, which means it's only going to record when you make changes. So we can click this pattern off, and you'll see it puts that as the baseline. We want to make sure the pattern off is the baseline. That way, when I click on one of these other buttons, it's going to switch it just while I've got it clicked, and then it will release it into the others. So let's do this. I'm going to see, fill 5, and you'll see it already changed that down there. I'm going to undo. I just wanted to make sure that was the one I wanted. And then added those patterns in just for that little bit. Because this is using the ARA technology, it knows where we are inside the loop here, and it's just going to use that part that lines up with the pattern out on our actual timeline. And so that can fill in with the rest of the song. Be careful when you're in touch mode not to be touching a bunch of other parameters, because if you do, those will be automated as well. So if we want to make other adjustments, let's switch it back to the read mode. Let's turn off solo for a second. So if I wanted to change the drummer at this point, I could do that, and all of those changes will not be automated because I put it back into read mode first. And if we want, we can come in here, and if I'm like, ooh, you know what? I really wanted that to start just slightly earlier, we can just drag and move that with our mouse. Now, if we want to go through and make any changes, one of the easiest ways is to just click in that section where we've got it automated. You'll see this pattern gets pulled up, and we can come through and make changes. So we can do things here in terms of the time the repeating, and the volume, and just create custom variations on that. So that's pretty cool. That allows us that flexibility of never having to create or use the exact same preset and make it sound like everything else we've done, but we can come through and do variations on it. So that ability to customize and mangle using some of these basic sounds that we've always had for a long time, give them a little bit new life and give them something that extra that we might not just be able to get with the drummer track itself. While we're waiting for a drummer track update, this is a great way to be able to do that. So we can do that with all of this. I've actually added in a second effect on the drummer that I'm using, which is the remix effect. And we can do a similar thing with this. Let's put this into touch mode. And it does help if when we first do this for any that we want to use to put them, start them so that they're at 0, right? So then I've got both. You'll see sometimes, and you'll have to be careful with this, if we want the remix on and off. Okay, so that is turned off until the very end. The other one that I did there, the rate started up high, but it doesn't matter since it's turned off there. Still like to clean those up so that way it looks like what we're doing. But sometimes if you look at my other track here, there's a number of things which aren't going to be cleaned up just because there's so much to it. But while it's a simple thing, it doesn't hurt to clean it up a little bit. I will notice here that it looks like we left it on. Well, that is the level is left up for the gator rate, but the gator is turned off, so we won't be hearing any of that level there. We can continue to make more and more complex things. We could do, and let me turn off the touch mode and just put it in read. And we can automate any of those parameters into it. There's additional ones here. Looks like there's a reverb that we haven't put on and a delay that we didn't put on. Obviously, you're going to see the same ones here. And the ones in the middle, while there are some additional settings for those, they're pretty locked down for what they actually do. Okay, so automation is our friend. It can help us create these custom things. But most importantly, the demonstration here was of the beat breaker and how it can revitalize some of our drum tracks, our drummer tracks, to have new things like additional fills, additional stylistic flourishes. We can do it just at the ends of the beats. We can do it throughout all of the beats. But setting that bass line with the beat breaker off, and I'll go back to this for a second, is the first step. Going and turning on our automation into touch mode is the second step. And then just touching those other patterns we want in the beat breaker, that's what creates that custom sound for the whole thing. Hope this was useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll do another one soon.